Okay, so in this video here, got some good data here. Let's back this up. So what I'm going to show you is that the implosion was in the water column, not on the floor. It's the guy that's going to make that clear. It's going to take about 8 minutes to get there. Let's start from the 3:30 minute mark. Well, I actually have it. Huh.
Coast Guard and the entire unified command, I offer my deepest condolences. Vehicle has been...
Okay, we got 10 seconds to the beginning of this one. This is called classification of some of the debris is what I call this in my 339 mark.
Searching, and it is highly capable. And we've been
talking about the ROV.
Able to classify parts of the pressure chamber for the Titan submersible.
All right, sorry about the mic. You're hearing it through a speaker, guys. So, and then you're hearing me through the same mic. So he is going to find the aft and rear bells, the domes. They're discoverable. Even though we didn't see it in the image, it's going to be reported as found. We're at 3:39 now. We need to take this up to about 8 minutes.
Let me refer to one of my undersea experts here, Mr. Paul Hankin, to talk about the nature of some of the debris.
All right, listen, he's going to give the nature of the debris.
Thank you, Admiral. So essentially, we found 5 different major pieces of debris that told us that it was the remains of the Titan.
All right. 5 sections, all right? 5 pieces. Listen to them.
The initial thing we found was the nose cone.
Initially, nose cone. Now, another video, it's reported that the tail was observed first, just so you know that. I won't find you, well, maybe I will find you, I have it keyed up. Let's do that. That's the nose cone. And let's see, I need to go to 7:12 of this video. Well, let's recycle this one.
This morning, an ROV, or remote operated vehicle, from the vessel Horizon Arctic discovered the tail cone of the Titan submersible.
So he says the tail cone, okay?
Approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic on the seafloor. The ROV subsequently found additional debris.
So he's got it that way. His report is saying first they found the rear, and then subsequently,
Tail cone of the Titan submersible, approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic.
All right, but then we go back to this report, and it's pretty clear that number one, it's found the nose cone. That's number 1. I'll give you a cue back on that, and let's go right here.
And so the remote operating vehicle has been searching, and it is highly capable. And we've been able to classify parts of the pressure chamber for the Titan submersible. Let me refer to one of my undersea experts here, Mr. Paul Hankin, to talk about the nature of some of the debris.
All right, so here we go again. This time we'll let them go through, and I'll just key on each one.
Thank you, Admiral. So essentially, we found 5 different major pieces of debris that told us that it was the remains of the Titan.
So let's stop right there. Use the words essentially, which is what we found. That's why we knew it was the. He didn't say in order of what we found, but now it comes.
The initial thing we found was the nose cone.
Initially thing we found was a nose cone,
which was outside of the pressure hull.
Which was outside of the pressure hull, not connected. Nose cone outside the pressure hull, and I believe he calls it the bell, is also the interface ring, is what he's going to call the bell. Is going to be separate also. Here we go. So we know now they did not unscrew it. Listen.
We then found a large debris field. Within that large debris field, we found the front end bell of the pressure hull.
Okay, so then in the front, they found the end bell which is the interface ring of that, the large debris field. Next parts he finds, so that's 2. So we have the nose cone, okay? 2, larger field, we find the interface ring, I believe is referenced what he calls the N bell. Okay, and we move on. That's 2 pieces.
That was the first indication that there was a catastrophic event. Shortly thereafter, we found a second smaller debris field. Within that debris field, we found the other end of the pressure hull, the aft end bell, which was basically comprised of the totality of that pressure vessel.
Now he says the aft end bell. So he does say the aft end bell. So it's interesting. Remember what he just said. He called the front part the cone and then end bell. And then in the back, he just says, listen to it.
What other debris have you found?
Come on. Let me fast forward a little bit.
Again, to talk about the nature of some of the debris.
All right, here we go. One more time. Remember, nose and then end bell.
Thank you, Admiral. So essentially, we found 5 different major pieces of debris that told us that it was the remains of the Titan. The initial thing we found was the nose cone, which was outside of the pressure hull.
So nose cone, not connected, outside the pressure hull. Nowhere near the debris field. It got shot off, all right? It got shot off. All right, so right there, that debunks that damn doctor, yin yang zung, right there. It's just shot off, separate. Listen.
We then found a large debris field. Within that large debris field, we found the front end bell of the pressure hull.
All right, the next part. So the nose cone is off and put off in place somewhere else. The interface ring is in this next group. This next grouping is the front interface ring. Listen to it again. Let's see, 428. So let me go back right there, 417.
Then found a large debris field. Within that large debris field, we found the front end bell of the pressure hull.
Okay.
That was the first indication that there was a catastrophic event. Shortly thereafter, we found a second smaller debris field. Within that debris field, we found the other end of the pressure hull, the aft end bell, which was basically comprised of the totality of that pressure vessel. We continue to map the debris.
See, he says then he found the aft end bell. So it's a little bit confusing. About the aft dome. That's a little bit of confusing about that. He's called it the aft end dome, which we saw come up, but we didn't see the actual rear part. Let's hear what else he says.
Refield, and as the Admiral said, we will do the best we can to fully map out what's down there.
They're mapped.
It's a very difficult question to ask, but it's an important one for the families, of course. What are the prospects of recovery?
All right, let's go to 618 this video while I've got the continuity of it. And we'll do 618. I'll get you 613 and go from there. 618 is where I want to pick up on a debris field.
Above the wreckage and then raining down nearby.
So
It was an implosion in the water column, not on the floor, just so you know. That's the expert is going to say such.
the question was, is there any question as to whether or not the sub collided with the Titanic or whether it imploded above and debris field created from that? So the location of the Titan submersible was in an area that was approximately 1,600 feet from the wreck of the Titanic. I have an expert here that is familiar with that area and can talk about the debris field and what the debris field indicates in terms of where the casualty may have occurred.
So remember, he said 1,600 feet. I said this in another video, but I said quarter mile, I think. 5,280 feet is a mile. Obviously, I can't do my math at that point. This is what I did a long time ago. But I'm circling back to make it clear to you guys about the implosion taking place in the water column, but not on the beach. You remember, talked about skid marks, etc. 1,600 feet.
Quickly, can you tell me when that...
Wait, let's get the expert voice, please. Hang on a second. The expert voice is coming up to answer the question.
Now the expert voice is going to say 200 plus meters instead of the 1,600. This is interesting. He's not going along with their statement.
Thank you, Admiral. So the question is, where does the wreck lie in relation to the Titanic? I didn't hear the Admiral's answer. I think 1,600 feet.
Yes, 1,600, yeah.
So that's off the bow of Titanic. It's in an area where there is not any debris of Titanic. It is a smooth bottom. To my knowledge and anything I've seen, there's no Titanic wreckage in that area. And again, 200 plus meters from the bow.
And again, 200 plus meters from the bow. He just confirmed 1,600. And now he's saying 200 plus meters from the bow. So this is interesting. As he just revealed that it's 200 meters to 1,600 meters, the furthest part out. Is that a difference of 1,400 meters of debris field? That's huge.
And consistent with the location of last communication for an implosion in the water column.
Okay, and consistent with the last communication with the implosion in the water column, meaning they communicated 145 down, let's call it right here, right by his button. Titanic being over here. It implodes. It goes west and east, if you will, per our thing here. So part comes down here, and part comes down here. This is the furthest part of 1,600, and apparently he's did a Freudian slip, and it's 200 meters close. The other part is over here. If I'm going to read his 200 meters correctly. He turned around and confirmed 600 meters. And then he said 200 meters. If I got that wrong, correct me.
The size of the debris field is consistent with that implosion in the water column.
Yeah, the size of the debris field. So I'm going with 200 to 1,600 meters. So there you have it. That's a powerful force that pushed the ends apart. Unlike Dr. Dr. Ing from Germany. Yeah, the clowns, they're just clowns. This evidence was already out here way back then. And it's just amazing that the question, that the guy does a few of those damn finite element programs and disregarding the evidence that's given. Just like, I don't give a shit about your evidence. I'm going to make my YouTube video and show this. The evidence shows what it states right here. So these cock nibblers just drive me crazy. They drive me, they irk me, the hyenas. Here's the quote, the quoting, and don't disregard that imagery because that's obviously wrong. It says 5 major pieces of debris from the Titan, 5 pieces, right? This included part of the pressure chamber, that's where they are, the nose cone, the front end bell, and the aft end bell. Okay, so we're going to call that the aft end bell. And a press conference held in Boston on Thursday was told. It's weird that this piece here, so they found that, and that was bolted together. Why is it not discussed? Why is it not discussed? It just find that amazing. That piece there is just my most amazing piece ever. This piece here. It's just amazing. Okay, so it says 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic on Thursday morning. Rear Admiral John Mauger of the U.S. Coast Guard said the debris is consistent with the catastrophic implosion of the vessel. Quote, this is an incredibly complex operation environment on the seafloor over 2 miles beneath the surface, he added. Quote, end quote, he added. Undersea expert Paul Hankin said, quote, we found 5 different major pieces of debris that told us that this was the remains of the Titan. The Titan, the Asian, correction, It is 2 o'clock in the morning. The initial thing we found was the nose cone, which was outside of the pressure hull. We then found a large debris field. All right, this is my bottle rocket. If that's that far over, 1,600 meters over here, and that's that far over, 200 meters from the Titanic. This is my from the rear forward. This is the bottle rocket. I hate to say it, or I hate to think that I nailed it, because that makes me biased. But that makes me biased. The initial thing we found was the nose cone, which was outside the pressure hull, which they apparently. We then found a large debris field. Within that large debris field, we found the front end bell of the pressure hull. So this is separate. That this damn nose really went south on its own. And then this is, so we've got that breaking door effect. That door went south first. But I talked about that. If you go back my videos, the door's got to go first. And then the ring. If you have the ring going first along with the door, well, then there's no pressure to break these two apart. So I talk about that you have to get the door going first and then the ring. Well, that's what happened. The door was really holding back a lot of force, though. It had to be holding back a lot of force, pressure, before it finally broke all the bolts at once. Poof, ejecting it. The distance between 200 meters and 1,600 meters, wherever the equilibrium of that was. Maybe it's the middle of the two. So maybe this is heavier on this end, so I'm not going to give it that much. So let's say here's 1,600 here. Let's say this is 200 on this side. I'm not going down the middle with it because this is pretty heavy down here. I might be at 1,000 over here. This moves 600, and this moves 800 to get to the two. Something like that, or maybe it moves. Maybe it's 800 here, and it moves 800. Now, leaning more to the heavier end here, going less distance. It's heavier in the way it's shaped. It might spiral and do a bunch of things. Okay, so reading on. Rear Admiral John Margaret of the U.S. Coast Guard said the debris is concerned. All right, we read that part. We found the 5 major pieces of Titan. The initial thing we found was the cone that was outside the pressure hull. We then found a large debris field. I don't know if you said large at that point. Within that large debris field, we found the front end bell of the pressure hull. That was the first indication that there was a catastrophic event. Shortly thereafter, we found a second small debris field. Within that debris field, we found the other end of the pressure hull, the aft end bell. Okay. Which basically compromised the totality of the pressure vessel. So, did they find it together, that aft end bell in the computer system? Is that what he's, because clearly there's the other end bell, the other end. Oh, okay, the aft end bell. I get it. Remember, I said there's a door there, and then the aft end bell could be one piece. All right, so maybe let's see if he also says the other part, which basically compromised the totality of the vessel. We continue to map. They mapped it. They did map it, so this will come out, this part, and it's going to be a public notification on this, and this will be by Captain Neubauer, and it's the Marine Board investigation along with a few other countries that are be participating, and I don't want to say because I don't want to get into their area where they say, oh, you can't talk about them, so I'm going to leave that alone. We will back this up, though, and hear him say 200 meters again, even though he heard 16.
We will do the best we can to...
Here we go again.
Thank you, Admiral. So essentially, we found 5 different major pieces of debris that told us that it was the remains of the Titan.
5.
The initial thing we found was the nose cone, which was outside of the pressure hull. We then found a large debris field. Within that large debris field, we found the front end bell of the pressure hull. That was the first indication that there was a catastrophic event.
That's two.
Um,
Two things, 1 and 2.
Shortly thereafter, we found a second smaller debris field. Within that debris field, we found the other end of the pressure hull, the aft end bell, which was basically comprised of the totality of that pressure vessel. We continue to map the debris field, and as the Admiral said, we will do the best we can to fully map out what's down there.
So he only gave 3 things. He said it large debris field, I don't know if that counts, but he only said nose, front end bell, and aft end bell. He said 3 things. And he described, part of that description was a debris field. That's not 5 things. So, I better leave that alone. I better leave that alone. You know, I don't want to get in trouble. Here we go. Let me just state what what you hear, and then you make your own decisions. Let's let him come forward now. So now we're going to go back forward again to 618.
Any suggestion at all that the sub itself collided with the wreckage of Titanic, or that instead it might have imploded above the wreckage and then rained down nearby?
So the question was, is there any question as to whether or not the sub collided with the Titanic or whether it imploded above and debris field created from that? So the location of the Titan submersible was in an area that was approximately 1,600 feet from the wreck of the Titanic. I have an expert here that is familiar with
Is it approximately 1,600 feet?
that area and can talk about the debris field and what the debris field indicates in terms of where the casualty may have occurred.
Rear Admiral, really quickly, can you tell me when that...
Wait, let's get the expert voice, please. Hang on a second. The expert voice is coming up to answer the question.
Thank you, Admiral. So the question is, where does the wreck lie in relation to the Titanic? I didn't hear the Admiral's answer. I think 1,600 feet. Is that correct, Admiral? So that's...
All right, so that's true. It lies within 1,600 feet. So that's a fair game. It lies within there. Okay, now, but he's going to go down 200. Listen.
That's off the bow of Titanic. It's in an area where there is not any debris of Titanic. It is a smooth bottom.
This towards
to my
200.
knowledge and anything I've seen, there's no Titanic wreckage in that area. And again, 200 plus meters from the bow.
Okay. He said 1,600 feet, and he says 200 plus. If I don't know if I said feet earlier, he does say meters. So, you got to do a little bit of conversion on that. 200 plus meters. Why the hell would he do that? That still doesn't make it. That's still not 1,600 feet. So, why did he do that? 200. He said meters. He said feet.
And consistent with the location of last communication for an implosion in the water column. And the size of the debris field is consistent with that implosion in the water column.
I'll ask you a question. In terms of the timing here, you say that this was a catastrophic implosion. And I know it's early.
So it's I did the conversion chart real quick. 200 meters is 656 feet. All right, because he did say this one said meters, feet, and he said meters. For reference again, yep, we got to do it again. So that would be at 618. We got to hear him say it.
Or that instead it might have imploded above the wreckage and then rained down nearby.
So the question was, is there any question as to whether or not the sub collided with the Titanic or whether it imploded above and debris field created from that? So the location of the Titan submersible was in an area that was approximately 1,600 feet.
1,600 feet. Okay, there you go. So now let's run over to, this is the captain who's going to be doing the investigation. Let me get you to 3 minutes here. and this will be your this part. He's the one doing the
Thank you, Alan
investigation.
Auger. Good afternoon.
Sorry about the
Before I
volume.
discuss the Coast Guard's investigation, I want to express my deepest condolences to the loved ones of the 5 individuals who perished in this tragic incident. My team and myself have been investigating this since we heard the initial reports of lost communications, and my entire team wanted to express their condolences also. As a senior investigator, I have witnessed the personal impacts associated with these types of events. And my primary goal is to prevent a similar occurrence by making the necessary recommendations to enhance the safety of the maritime domain worldwide.
That's it. So that's basically it. He's got no authority to do what he can turn it over for prosecution, but that's about it. All right, here's 710. Let's go to. It's going to be 712. I need you to get to.
Do you need to photograph the site? How do you get a sense?
Photograph the site.
Sir, we have already mapped the accident site and the field.
Done. All right, that's what I need you to get. It's already mapped. Done deal. All right, for some reason I put 10 minutes down here. 10 minutes, 0 seconds. Oh, lessons learned. This is about my bias that they want to learn from this.
Learn from the incident and then work with our international partners.
Here we go. All right, so it can be a few things what do you mean by learn. All right, so there's that. Now let's come back to this one again. And I think this picks up here where he states how the the tail was found first.
Submersible, approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic on the seafloor.
Hold on.
The ROV subsequently found additional debris. In consultation, vehicle from the vessel Horizon Arctic
Here we go, listen.
discovered the tail cone of the Titan submersible.
All right, so he says that he states that it was the tail cone. Okay, just so you know.
Approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic on the seafloor. The ROV subsequently found additional debris. In consultation with experts from within the Unified Command, the debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber. I offer my deepest condolences to the family.
Okay, so now you know it's the implosion happened in the air, in the water column, which means further up, probably around loss of time. Now let's do it one more time on the, nope, wrong one, this one. And we're going to go one more, the last one to wrap it up, and that would be at we're going to do 2 of them. We'll do the 339 and then we'll bounce it again. This will be the last round. So it'll be him coming up next.
And it is highly capable, and we've been able to classify parts of the pressure chamber for the Titan submersible. Let me refer to one of my undersea experts here, Mr. Paul Hankin, to talk about the nature of some of the debris.
Remember, Paul Haken's going to say 5, and he's not going to produce his 5.
Thank you, Admiral. So essentially we found 5 different major pieces of debris that told us that it was the remains of the Titan. The initial thing we found was the nose cone.
So he just jumps right to it, nose cone, instead of the nose cone, okay.
Which was outside of the pressure hull. We then found a large debris field. Within that large debris field, we found the front end bell of the pressure hull. That was the first indication.
That's 2 items.
That there was a catastrophic event. Shortly thereafter, we found a second smaller debris field. Within that debris field, we found the other end of the pressure hull, the aft end bell.
That's 3 things, aft end bell.
which was basically comprised of the totality of that pressure vessel.
Okay, that's the totality. That's the pressure vessel part.
We continue to map the debris field, and as the Admiral said, we will do the best we can to fully map out what's down there.
Okay, so he stepped up. That was his hint to step back. My guess is that he didn't like what he was saying.
It's a very difficult question to ask, but it would be an important one.
Okay, let's jump to the.
What are the prospects of recovery?
Now we're going to jump back to.
So the questions
16.
was related. I'm restating the question from the standpoint of sometimes it's hard to hear the question here. What are the prospects for recovering a crew member?
Or that instead it might have imploded above the wreckage and then rained down nearby.
So the question was, is there any question as to whether or not the sub collided with the Titanic or whether it imploded above and debris field created from that? So the location of the Titan submersible was in an area that was approximately 1,600 feet from the wreck of the Titanic.
So he says within 1,600 feet. So our radius is within 600 feet, but as close as 200 meters, which I did a quick calculator on, 656 feet.
I have an expert here that is familiar with that area and can talk about the debris field. And
So that puts it about 1,000 feet apart. Not together like Clown Show showed. This was an explosion, as I stated before. Your implosion created an explosion. Got these things about 1,000 feet apart. So all you people, KMA, that didn't like my my theory of blowing apart and how it came apart like that. You don't know what you're talking about, Clown Show. Well, looks like you get the Clown Show award with your crushing disintegration. It's a high overpressure that was going in there. High overpressure. Blows that shit apart. The problem is that rear end just really disturbs me. Really disturbs me. That pressure that it would take didn't buckle. That damn rear end drives me to the farthest end of the earth going crazy.
and what the debris field indicates in terms of where the casualty may have occurred.
Really quickly, can you tell
Right
me
here.
when the
Wait, let's get the expert voice, please. Hang on a second.
I like my man standing up. You got to stand up. You know, this person tried to walk over him. He's like, hey, my expert voice comes up. Here we go.
The expert voice is coming up to answer the question.
Thank you, Admiral. So the question is, where does the wreck lie in relation to the Titanic? I didn't hear the Admiral's answer. I think 1,600 feet. Is that correct, Admiral? So that's off the bow of Titanic. It's in an area where there is not any debris of Titanic. It is a smooth bottom. To my knowledge and anything I've seen, there's no Titanic wreckage in that area. And again, 200 plus meters from the bow, and consistent with the location of.
So I'm going with what his literal statement, 200 plus meters from the bow. So I'm going to go with the 656 feet out to 1,600 feet. So approximately 1,000-foot field of separation of these materials. Huge.
Communication for an implosion in the water column. And the size of the debris
So an implosion in the water column. Size of the debris field.
is consistent with that implosion in the water column.
Okay. All right. So I hope this was helpful to you and helps you to understand I'm not going to steer you wrong. I will still play devil's advocate on many things. But ultimately, I like to come back to where I originally started with the explosion. The same thing I did with Champlain Towers South. I said it's just rattling of the building from the deck collapse, and then I just go on and on and on with different data to see if you can get there. Hopefully, this release right here shows you that things like a finite element program is bullshit. So finite element. Oh, there we go. Hopefully he pulls up that guy's, not mine. Thank you. Yeah, okay, then we can pull up mine. Hopefully you can see that this is just bullshit, as I said. That when we look at his failure,
You disappear.
where he has this, looking at the screen, the hyenas. Oh hell, we might as well throw a hyena in there. Hold on. Oh, we got to get one more of those. One more just for the hell of it. One more for Pug Face.
Him how
Pug
he
like-
behaves
Pugs
as
likes
he
it.
publishes with the people.
Pug, this is a shout out to Pug.
Or he doesn't care. He's
And a couple of you other like the hyena. Here we
a
go.
narcissist.
Oh, he's lovely. Lovely. Anyway, this is the jerk face, Dr. Ing Ronald Wagner. So there is a lady that asked me, how do I recommend the students to do this, etc.? How would she recommend? I said, it's got to be something that you're driven, that you're drawn to. You shouldn't just be good in math and science and do this. Maybe he was good in math and science, but he has zero logical thinking, zero investigative thinking, zero. He he got this down to 100%.
The people, or he doesn't care. He's a narcissist.
All right, because remember, I'm going to fast forward this now. Remember, look at the background. I know it's faded, but this is dudes doctorates telling you this is what happened.
Listen,
It implodes, and in his implosion, he has the forces closing in and doing that. That's just cocksuckery there. That's just pure cocksuckery. You can't get any more than that. It doesn't matter about the evidence coming out of there. He's like, whatever. It doesn't matter about the guy, the field there. I was hoping someone would say that, hey, didn't you do a video on this already about 1,600 feet? I did, and I did the Columbo move. I said the mile. I said, I think it's 1,600 feet. That's at like a quarter mile. And Chris from New York gave me the exact footage. And I'm like, yes, Chris. But Chris, you didn't catch on the significance of what I'm saying. Is that it's a huge debris field that was created. That guy, that message was there. It was been there forever. But people just seem to be ignoring it. So I'm putting this video out because I've got a lot of other work to do, and I just want you to cut to the chase a bit and enjoy this to sort of shut down this whole bullshit like this. So you can go there and you can tell him, we found his family. Hold on. You don't have to go there, but yeah, you'll just boost his channel any damn way. But look.
everything else out here.
Look, they're going to steal his food. Just the hyenas. It's the YouTubers, the pack of YouTubers that all support him, including Tool Time.
I do have permission from this guy to publish this.
These are all the fake YouTube guys trying to do this. Let's look at Tool Time's thing. Let's see, what's his name? Jeff Off. Come on. There we go. And Tool Time did, there it is, right there. Tool Time did the same thing.
There are some new simulations.
There we go. And Tool Time's like, oh, he did a great job. Let's fast forward it. There it is. So Tool Time, oh yes, this is the greatest. And then he copies the eyeball thing. Another hyena. Get it, hyenas. Look at that. He posted it. Look, guys, they were fucking 1,000 feet apart from each other. Yeah, tell me it was a basketball. He's not laughing, it's just his face. You can see it's a problem with his face. All right, I'm going to end the video, but before I end it, I got to go back to our hyenas. We got to end it on that note. We have to end it on that note. Where is it? Come on, baby. And here's the people that are following this crap. And there's the YouTubers. Here are the YouTubers putting up all that fake shit.
Pray, listen to it in the background.
I'm only going to take about 30 seconds of it, but it's
Come
worthy
on, we
of,
gotta enjoy this.
the
You can go back and
analogy
watch
of,
the video
what people
before.
do out here.
This is in place of cat video.
And I do have permission from this guy to publish this.
Look, they still looking, laughing. Oh, they're beast. Hey, listen. And here's this guy, Dr. Rodowing. Oh, yeah, Doctor. Quite a few people write me, guys. They got his friends trolling me, all from Germany. All of them with these German names trolling me. I've been deleting their shit, but he's from Germany. You have to listen to him. I'm like, jawohl. I listen to him. He is the master. Master race. I understand. I must not dispute his statements. All right, look.
Him how it behaved as he publishes with the people,
There we go.
or he doesn't care. He's a narcissist. Okay, so then he,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what an implosion looks like in his mind, in the computer's model, the whatever he paid for that. Fucking waste of money. Fucking waste. What I tell you, an implosion is an explosion. Told you that. Those forces build up, going to create the explosive forces. We got a debris field that's 1,000 foot wide in length. It's mapped. We'll see the debris field much better when they finally release the map. No photographs like some nasty person asked. Can we see the photographs of the whatever? Like, that's some sick shit. All right. End of video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Sorry about using a mic on speaker. That was so I can play it in the background and you guys got it. And I'll post this one real quick and just enjoy it. Shout out to you members that just sent me some money in the last round. That stuff's great. Cats, yum, yum, yum. Cat's going to... Oh, I should edit this and put the new cat in here, the little kitten. I'll see what the audio sounds like shit. I'll edit it and fix the audio and throw the cats in. We'll find out right now.